Oh, there's a hump in the field there, there's a set of wheel marks. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Northwick. Oh, spring has sprung, I am so excited. Been waiting for this day for ages, so today is finally the day that we're going to start spreading some fertilizer. I've been up here on some of our away ground and spread some already, just to get my head around the settings again, because we haven't used it for however long. And oh, it's brilliant. I got a couple of things in the tractor that we've upgraded as well to show you. But this is one of our cow fields where cows and calves turn out. I've got some mowing ground at the other side to do at some point, but we're going to do 2 or 3 here on top of the hill that are fairly dry. Quick look around the tractor and spreader. You guys have seen the 155R by now. Beautiful tractor, love that thing. This is our Exacta TL KV geo spreader, so it works off the GPS. The only thing you can adjust hydraulically is this, which is the headland disc. Other than that, it's all done automatically, which is good and bad for other reasons. But you can see it's a bit tacky in the gateways, but once you're up in the field it's fine. Travelling really well. So we'll get in the cab and I'll show you a couple of the things we've done differently. Right, so the big reveal. Look at that. We have an extended monitor. We had a secondary screen before. It was a 2630 John Deere screen that came with our trail sprayer, which did all the recording and GPS perfectly fine, but this one, having the licenses on here now, gives you so many more options than the other one does. And I can also record the fuel a lot more accurately, which is one thing we wanted to do. So I can swap the screens out with this button here, so both screens can display whatever you want. They're both touchscreen, so I can still use all the functions on this if I want to. But what are we doing today? So we're Fert spreading. So I've not spread this field since we've changed the screens round. What we're going to do is we're going to go to our guidance run page, which I have set up here. I'm going to tell it what field I'm in. So I'm in Sheridan, which is okay. So you can see the pink line here, that is the outside of the field. That is like the boundary of the field. What I want to do is set up a 24 metre headland, and then I also want to set an AB line for doing my up and down work. So to do that, when I do the up and down work in this field, I tend to just aim for that gate in the distance. So what we'll do is we'll go to set track. There's no tracks here before, so new track, AB. We'll just name it AB for now. Okay. Right, and then what we'll do is we'll stay square with this top hedge here. And we'll drive along, we'll press set A. And then in 5 meters time, set B. Done. So that has now given us a set of marks across the field that the auto guide will follow if you want to. We're also going to say set track, new track, boundary track. So just make sure you're all on the right field when you're doing this. Next. Name it boundary. Save. So you see now we've swapped to a boundary one. So this line here follows my boundary exactly. Here it says next track AB. So once I've done the outside, I click swap and it will change to my AB lines to fill in the middle. What you can also do on here, which is really good, is if I go to field boundaries. So this is the field we're in, Sheridan. Click in here, put a 24 metre headland. So now when we go back to our guidance page, got this yellow mark. So when I'm doing the inside of the field, which I'm on now, which is the AB lines, the spreader won't spread past that yellow mark until I turn off the headland control on the section control, which is back here. So when I want to do the outside, I go section control, I'll turn it on or off. So I turn it off so that I can do the headland, turn it on to do the middle. Another thing we're going to do here is, because we want to record what fuel we're using, I'm going to go to work monitor, and see this has been recording me since I've been coming up from home up to where we are. So I'm going to reset to 0. So any fuel I use now is being recorded. It'll tell me all my hectarage and everything. If we go, so then we'll swap this page over to there by pressing that button. We'll then go to our spreader page. This is already preset, but the way you set up this spreader is you have a letter which determines your flow rate. So we're using H, we're spreading 116 kilos of nitram per hectare. So that's all ready. I've got a tiny bit of paperwork to do and then we'll give it a go. So we are in the process of moving to an automated recording system, which again this JD link and the recording on here is all a part of. But we're still using our paper copies just for the moment, just until we got it all up and running properly. Right. This field steeps away quite partially towards the wood at the end there, so we're not going to go right to the edge. Right, so I'm going to set myself up on this line here. So this spreader is all set up for me to drive at 9.5k, which is fairly slow in terms of spreading fertilizer, but that's what it works out right as. I'd rather go a bit slower than too fast. So we turn on power shaft, get it running up to 950 disc speed, and then with any luck we'll press start, pull away, and we'll start spreading. Turn the auto track on and it will pull us onto our line. You'll see now as we come up to the yellow bar here, it will turn itself off. So the spread is still working, but there's nothing coming out at the moment. So then what we're going to do is just drive to the end of the field. I've come off the line now because I've touched the steering wheel, so as soon as you touch the steering wheel you knock yourself out of auto steer. We'll turn ourselves round onto this line, press our auto button to find it, and you'll see as the green mark here, which is where the Fert spread line is, passes it, it will start turning blue. And notice that it doesn't spread hardly any past it because it knows not to. So that's the section control working. That saves you a lot of fertilizer. Now I don't quite fancy going down on the steep, so I'm going to avoid it. The spreader is really clever as well. If you slow down for any reason on a corner or whatever, it realises that you've slowed down. It takes its speed from the GPS. Oh, we did a bit of sliding there. And it will adjust itself so the right rate of fertilizer is still going out. It's a bit steeper than it looks. And the tractor will also keep that constant rev. So you tell it you want it to run at 950 disc speed, so it knows how many engine revs it needs to keep that spinning at the right rate. So I just sit here, take it all in, make sure it doesn't go in the ditch. So what I'm going to do here now, because I've sort of finished the middle work and I want a nice piece here to take off for my boundary, I've got the thing spinning still. Here you go, menu, applications, section control, pedaling control off, so that will now let me spread past that yellow mark. So we'll spread now as soon as I press start. So what it is, I go back to where it's really flat. Oh, what we're also going to do, I should say, is press swap. So now your boundary track comes up, so you know where you need to be to start. Lots of loud bleeping. So get rid of that, swap the screens back, press start, take off gently. Once we get roughly in line, press auto resume. That'll pull us onto that line. And you see it still knows not to spread past the purple line as well, which is our boundary. Up here on the farm ground it doesn't matter because it is just our own field to the other side of it. But back home on some of the science ground where we've got all the field drains and they don't want fertiliser going anywhere near them, you can set an offset. So you can say I don't want it to spread within 5 metres of the boundary, and then your guidance line will be 5 metres further in. So that's quite clever. We're coming up to a corner here, which it knows it can't turn because it's too sharp, so we'll just go past it and it will stop itself. Back round, we get a lot of bleeping. And as we pull off again, wait for the line to go white like that. Pull ourselves on, that won't be the neatest corner, not too bad. So it lets you know that there's a sharp corner ahead. Be interesting to see if it'll do this one itself. I think it will. Just going to give it a go. So I'm not steering. Tractor's turning. And then it's letting you know end of path. So there's a corner coming up that it can't turn. It's too sharp. Back ourselves round. Auto resume. That's a lovely neat corner. Look at that one. Now I'm always quite happy to admit when I messed up, and I did mess up slightly there. I went round the headland the wrong way. All of my excitement with the auto steer. This machine's got a headland disc on it, and you're supposed to go around with the hedge on your right all the time, and I didn't. But I've done 3 sides of that field around the outside. I'm not going to go on the steep side because it's just not worth it. I'll only slide into the ditch. So what I want to show you now is we've stopped this. I'm in park on it. So this is all stopped. I'm going to go menu, applications, go down to work monitor. So this tells you all the fuel we've used it. So fuel usage, I've used 2.7 litres of fuel to spread that 3.62 hectares. So I'm just writing that down in my notes here that I've used 2.7 litres. Once we've got our automated system up and running, there'll be somewhere for me to type that in. You can also see here on work totals, we're spreading nitram 34.5%. We've done 3.62 hectares at 115.9 kilos a hectare. So that total is 419 kilos. So I'll write that in here as well. And then we also record the time we spend in the field. Just take ourselves into the next field here. So the software was all moved onto this screen on Friday last week. Today's the first day we've used it. Today's Tuesday. I did ask Andrew and Dan when they came to fit it if it was right to film them fitting it, and they said that was fine. Sharp curve ahead. Still thinks we're in that field. So they said that's fine. So I set a GoPro up in here and fitting the screen and everything, and then my battery died within about 5 minutes. So didn't get any footage worth showing. But they put it in, and then you have to put an activation code in. So Dan rang me up this morning with that one to put in, and he also talked me through it quite well on the phone, which was handy. There's a couple of things I didn't realise when I went to use it for the first time today, which was my own fault because I didn't know it, I just forgot. Was things like your section control here. Where's section control? You actually have to turn on for the first time you want to use it. So the first field I went into, I started spreading and I thought, well, that's weird, why is my section control not working? Of course I didn't have it turned on. And it's the same with anything. Your guidance, you've got a master turn on and off for that one. So you have to turn that one on the first time you want to use it. And then obviously every time you go in your field for the first time, so at the minute every time I go in the field I'm having to set up my boundaries. That's just because it's the first time I've been in with this system. Once you've been in once, and once you've set up a track in a field, the guidance path, it's there for, well, until you delete it or whatever. So what I'm going to do is get the guidance page over here with change fields. So we're now in Lee, and we're just going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to go to the menu, fields and boundaries, so Lee, we've got a 24 metre headland on it. Brilliant, done that one. B, what way do I spread this one? That way. Engine. So what I'm doing now is I'm just changing the set engine rev so that when we press the button on the side here and put the thing right forward, the throttle right forward, your engine is maxed out at whatever you set it at. So it's on 1600, but I'm going to put it to 14, I think it's about 1450. 1440, and then when that is at 1440 engine revs, the spreader's running at 950 RPM disc speed. We'll set that. So now if I put it into gear, swap the page so you can see, put it right forward, 945, that'll do. And then now it's waiting for me to press start on the screen, so it's dry over here. So we'll go over here, we'll grab our line, So the tractor's now taking me to the line. Before I start, I better put my headland disc down after saying I did that wrong last time. Right, that's down. So now we'll press start. And we're spreading. Oh, there's a hump in the field there, there's a set of wheel marks. I'm sure a lot of you that watch my channel are familiar with Nick from Nick's farm. So his most recent video at the time of me recording this was he was doing his first application of nitrogen on his wheat. He was saying how he hadn't been getting on very well with his Amazon spreader, with the rate all being sort of all over the place, not where he wanted it, and he'd gone back to his sulky, which is a bit more basic. I think there's definitely a lot of people that are like that, and sometimes the simpler something is, the better. You certainly don't have all these bleeps going on. But I'm more inclined to be the other way. I absolutely love all this technology, and once you get your head around it and it's working fine, it is the bee's knees, it really is. And especially for us here, we've got experimental ground where we want to spread 50 kilos of product a hectare. There's no way, I think, that you can do that accurately, one, without the spreader being isobus like this and working it all out itself, and two, without GPS. There's just no way you're going to do it. And I know we're fairly unique in that, but the amount of fertilizer you must save just by not overlapping at all, yeah, I think it makes it well worth it, I think. And of course also you use it for every other thing we use. We use it for the spraying. You don't want to be overlapping with your spraying. We use the guidance for mowing. You make the most efficient use of the field then, what way you want to mow it. So far, very happy with the new screen. That is awesome, that is. So that's me just about done, guys. I finished spreading, so I'm heading back to the yard now. I thought I'd just show you quick before I go. What I do here is to turn this off to stop it making loads of bleepy noises at me. Go into menu, engine auto track guidance, press the little up button on the cop, and you just guidance off, and you see it all comes up here saying guidance off. Just stops it making a load of noise at me on the way home. Oh, the dogs come to say hello. What are you after? You want to see the new screen as well, do you? Yes, good, I know. You've got to go on the floor though. You have. Yes. Tomorrow they give a little bit of rain forecast. So if it rains, I'll wash it off, and if it doesn't, I'll crack on and do a bit more. But yeah, let's get ourselves home. So hopefully by the weekend, when we got a lot of sunshine again forecast, that would have given the grass a good kick in the backside. It'll start growing. Hopefully in 3 or 4 weeks' time, we'll kick a load of cattle out and they'll be able to eat it. We'll prioritise getting a lot of the cattle ground spread now, and then we've also got to prioritise the farm platform ground at home, just because we haven't got loads and loads of fertiliser in stock, and there's a bit of a waiting list to get some. And then we'll move on to the mowing ground then. The ground at the home farm and also over on the research half of the farm is a lot heavier and wetter than this, so that'll be a couple of weeks before that wants to be travelled on anyway, but we'll poke away at it up here for a bit. Right, I think I'm going to end the video there, chaps. I've only got to go home, park the tractor up, and then I'm off for my dinner. Thank you to Andrew and Dan for coming out last week and setting all this up for us. And Dan for talking me through how to use it all on the phone. And yeah, I just think that is brilliant. I think that is the way forward in agriculture. So thank you guys for watching. There'll be a load of links in the description to all my social media outlets. I'll also put a link to Mason Kings, because they've done a load of videos on how to use this sort of stuff. Oh, there's a tractor coming. Anyway, I'll put a link to Mason's King's YouTube because they've done a load of videos, really short, nice little videos on how to use everything that is on these screens and loads of other stuff as well. So I'll put a link to them. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, then subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on another video very soon. Cheerio!